Alrighty, so what we are looking at right now, goodbye, is the unedited and the edited plans for the Cold War. All right, so lesson title, Understanding Cold War Politics of Containment and the Truman Doctrine and the Marshall Plan and the Airlift. So it's kind of what we're talking about. One of the strengths that I really appreciate about both the unedited and the edited version is that it is really easy to do this. I mean, so what I did was I used an AI lesson plan generator to come up with these ideas for me. And then I just used that. And honestly, I got to say, I mean, this was a really effective way of getting a lesson plan out. It was really quick. It was really easy. I just had to basically check it and go, okay, cool. It's not something that gives you an entire lesson or all the information. But if you are looking for a structure, a building block, or a foundation to build from, this is an excellent example of what to do. For both of these, I think it was really good. Not only that, but it also gave you the amount of time that you would need. I really liked that as well. When we're talking about weaknesses, what we are lacking, like I said, is that we are lacking any kind of actual information. So you would still have to do all the work, but it's not a bad thing, right? Because it's kind of that's what we're supposed to do. We should know what we're talking about. I thought that another weakness was if you just go with the unedited plan, it doesn't fit the team format at all. You don't have the questioning. You don't have on some of them you don't have assessments, on others you do. It depends on what website you were using. So assessment, short essay. I used two different ones. I used this one and this one because this one was far more basic, um, gave quite a simple one. This one was far more robust. I felt like it actually gave a better example of what to do in a classroom. Opportunities, right? So when you have opportunities in this regard, you have, I guess, the opportunity to formulate questions that you did not have before. So what I did on the edited one, you can't really do this for the unedited that much. I mean, you can. You can get these things such as begin the lesson by asking students to brainstorm what they already know about the Cold War. That's a question you can ask. But if you want good ones, you go to Chat GPT and say, what are three questions that I can ask a student or a high school student about these three subjects? And it gives you three questions to talk about. So that's an opportunity. You have the option to use multiple ones to create a decent lesson plan and to come up with good ideas. I mean, the opportunity is there, but the threat is if you just use AI, you're gonna just keep using AI. You're gonna forget how to make it yourself. And this is what I don't like about AI is that it's too convenient. It takes the human process out of it. I think that it's not a bad thing to use to come up with these questions to find out what materials you might need to find, right? Because look, it doesn't show you what you've got, but it does show you what kind of materials you need, which is another strength of it, right? But it's also something where you're eventually going to have to find all this yourself. That's a weakness. So it doesn't give you what you need. But if you use OpenAI like ChatGPT to find the answers, you might become a worse researcher. And even worse, sometimes these AIs aren't correct. If you use Gemini, for instance, right now, Google's AI is really bad. It does not actually give accurate or credible information sometimes, and that's worrying. Um, so there's the threat of misinformation, but there's also the threat of becoming lazy, complacent, or to a certain extent, I think that it implies the use of AI to me implies an inability to be creative on your own. That's just me, but that is one of the threats that I see about it is the diminishing of creativity and perhaps an overall diminishing of creativity in general. I think it's a great way to build a foundation, but if it's used too frequently, I don't know if it's a good thing or not. But that is all. I will post this, of course, so that everybody can see. for the most part, I think that the unedited one, while a decent foundation, it doesn't fit the team rubric that we're looking for. So if you want to actually fill the team rubric, you do have to edit it by using multiple AI sources to ask questions or to come up with things. But I still think not the worst tool to use.